December 18, The Legacy of the Elf Girl. December 18 was a calm day in the little house on the hill. Snow fell in slow, graceful flakes, and the fire crackled softly in the hearth. Glimt still slept before the fire, curled into a small reddish brown ball, and for the first time in a long while he slept without trembling. Miss Sophie lay in her donut bed, gazing into the flames. She loved these quiet mornings, when the world seemed to hold its breath, when everything was still yet filled with anticipation. At the table, Vimse sat, surrounded by mugs, small balls, and a mountain of crumbs. "There's something I never told you," Vimse said after a while. Miss Sophie lifted her head. "Something you never told me? That must be serious. You told me everything from elf parties to how to dance on a spoonful of porridge." Vimse smiled wryly. "Yes, but not about my family." She grew quiet, her gaze drifting toward the window where snow fell like a curtain of light. "My family were old elves," she said, "not the kind who hid in barns or stole socks, but dream elves. We gardened people's dreams, kept their hopes warm when the world grew cold." Miss Sophie's ears perked. "Gardens of dreams?" Vimse nodded. "Yes, each night we carried tiny lights from heart to heart. But time changed things. Humans began to forget us. They stopped believing that dreams had gardens. And one by one we disappeared from their memories." She sighed, her small hands resting on the table. "We were forgotten, Sophie. We became stories, decorations, not hope. And when you are forgotten long enough, you start to forget who you are." Miss Sophie stood and walked over to her. She placed her paw gently on Vimse's hand. "Then I'll remember for you," she said softly. Vimse blinked quickly, as if she didn't want the tears to fall. "Do you really think that helps?" Miss Sophie smiled. "Anything remembered with love becomes alive again." For a moment, all was still. Then, from somewhere far away, came a faint sound, like the ringing of a tiny silver bell. The air shimmered softly, and a warm light rippled across the walls. "That's your light," said Miss Sophie. "You are not gone. You are just waiting to be called home." Vimse looked amazed. "Maybe that's why I found you. Maybe it was just meant to help you with the key, but to remember who I am." Miss Sophie wagged her tail. "And now you do." "Yes," said Vimse, smiling with her whole heart for the first time in a long while. "I'm Vimse of the Dream Line, the elf who fills between worlds, carrying light wherever it's needed." "That's the spirit," said Miss Sophie. "But you still need to clean up your crumbs." Vimse giggled. "You can be a guardian and a housekeeper at the same time." They both laughed, and the laughter filled the room like music. Glimt lifted his head sleepily. "Are you two done waking the past? I'm trying to dream here." "Exactly," said Vimse, winking. "And I'm guarding you, little fox, so dream away." Miss Sophie glanced toward the key on the table. It was almost gone. Just a faint shimmer left, like a breath of light. There are in it many days left, she said quietly, but maybe that's enough. Vimse nodded, her gaze fixed on the flames. I think your journey is changing, not toward an ending, but toward a beginning. Outside, the snow continued to fall, but between the flakes glimmered something new, tiny, golden sparks, like dreams finding their way back into the world. Miss Sophie looked at Vimse and said softly, when someone remembers, nothing ever truly disappears. And somewhere far away a faint chime sounded, like a heart beginning to dream again. That was the end of December the 18th. I hope you dare to come back tomorrow and hear about the watchmaker's letter. Merry Christmas.